It is 4 in the morning. So welcome friends back to my studio here in the wild and beautiful Tasmania. The nature, the serene silence surrounding us and the slower pace of life perfectly suit both my and Padma's creativity. We are thriving, both as creators and as a couple. But first, I want to express my gratitude for your encouraging words and enthusiasm for my spirit journey. I'm truly touched by your continued participation and interest in this tremendous project. Your questions show that you are closely following the weekly adventures of Kaitek and Coco, so thank you. This morning, I will take you somewhere special. But first, I want to address a question that I've been asked repeatedly over the years. Unlike my readers from other countries, who were simply enjoying this amazing but true adventure of the two little characters of Janusz Christa, Polish fans of the spirit journey were initially very vocal about my use of Christa's illustrations to tell my story. Over the years, those voices have become less frequent, and I hope that my intrusion into the sacred ground of Christa's artistic legacy has been assimilated and forgiven. I had been contemplating the potential issue of collaborating with Christa ever since I began working on the spirit journey. The arguments from friends and family who insisted that if you can draw, then this great story deserves to be illustrated by you, not by Christa, made me reflect deeply. However, over time I came to understand why I had willingly stepped into this, so to speak, quicksand of controversy. You see, as a professional artist, for most of my 40-year career, I have always worked alone. The truth is, I'm a bit of a loner, and on top of it, the stonework is very noisy. So, as I embarked on the spirit journey, I asked myself, do I want to start this new project alone again? Or should I join forces with the one for whom I have the greatest respect and admiration? When I began my collaboration with Christa, I recalled the simple yet prophetic words he spoke to me in 1974. At that time, I mentioned my plans to move permanently to Canada. With a mischievous smile under his mustache, Mr. Christa responded, "You know what? Maybe Kaitek and Coco will go with you." One of the biggest challenges I faced was that Christa obviously didn't illustrate the new characters and specific elements needed for the spirit journey. Some of you even questioned whether I was limiting myself by telling the story solely through the collages from Kaitek, wondering if it was even possible to achieve this in Christa's style. However, almost 6 years after its conception, the spirit journey is alive and well. For anything I can't find in Christa's illustrations, I supplement by drawing myself. After all, I'm quite familiar with Christa's style by now. From the very beginning of my collaboration with Christa, I felt a resurgence of emotions and passions I had as a little boy collecting Kaitek, which were released every day in the Wieczór Wybrzeża newspaper at that time. I humbly admit that I create collages using Christa's illustrations now, purely for my own personal pleasure. That is the whole truth. And yet, there is another reason I collaborate with Christa that is less selfish. Over time, I have realized that by reviving Christa's original illustrations and blending them with modern elements, I have been able to make Janusz's artistic legacy appealing not only to his longtime fans, but also to a younger generation of admirers. It is truly wonderful. Life is a full circle. The kindness and genuine interest that Christa showed me that evening in the winter of 1974 continue to inspire my writing. The twinkle in his eyes has stayed with me, so it's no wonder that Christa will always be a part of my story. In fact, the longer I work on the spirit journey, the more respect I have for this extraordinary man and his creativity. It's time to stop talking, turn off the computer, and make a strong thermos of tea because I'm taking you on a little excursion. Let's go. Close to our property, separated by a narrow stretch of land, lies a large reservoir. Almost every morning I take my trusty kayak out on the water, surrounded by birds, wildlife, and complete silence. I love dipping my paddle into the pitch-black waters, and for a few hours before daylight, I am surrounded only by a magical world of shadows, too early to be disturbed by any other human presence. And as the sunlight rises over the water and morning birds sing, I realize how fortunate I am to be part of it all. I often find myself quietly paddling along with a big, silly grin on my face, not even knowing why. Maybe it's those little pleasures in life, like the precious moments for reflection and the joy of simply being happily alone, that brings about that smile. Working on this film, I came across an old recording from before I left Poland at the age of 14. At that time, my family was vacationing in Smukawa near Bydgoszcz, and that was where I first started honing the skills of kayaking. But back to the present. After 2 hours of paddling, I return to the shore and light a small fire to warm up. I pour myself some tea from my thermos. Oh yes, I have a mug for you too, I didn't forget. And treat us to a cookie or two. Yummy! After this little morning ritual, I'm ready to draw a card for today from Padma's beautiful new creation, the Sacred She Tarot. So let's see what the Sacred She has to offer today. It's the card of the Voyager. The meandering river of life is where we hone our skills, increase our awareness, gain confidence, and mature. In truth, we are all voyagers, learning that the art of being fully alive is its own reward. What a wonderful message for us all. Thank you, Sacred She. Dear friends, it was such a pleasure to spend this beautiful morning with you here in Tasmania. I wish you a happy, healthy, and creative New Year 2025. And one last thing, I want to give you heads up regarding the next Morning with Ashika video that will be dedicated entirely to my huge collection of Kajtek and Koko from Wieczór Wybrzeża, as well as many original drawings of Janusz Christa. I'm beginning to look at the next chapter of this beloved collection of mine, beyond my life. So I hope you'll join me for this discussion.